Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. So in today's video, I'll be talking about how the Washington Commanders actually got some good playoff news on Thursday, even though a lot of people think it was bad news. So we're going to break that down in today's video and just talk about the Washington Commanders playoff chances this season. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well. We're really close to 14,500 subscribers, less than 200 away, or around 200 away. So help me get there. It's free. It takes 1 second, a little bit of a Christmas present from y'all to me. But yeah, let's get right into it. So going into the game, I and a lot of Commanders fans, this is the Thursday night game, the 49ers and the Rams. I was rooting for the 49ers because I thought it would be better if they won. But John Keim kind of educated me and a lot of other Commanders fans after the game going over the chances. And basically, if the Commanders and the 49ers both finished 10-7 or 10-7, if they ended up tying, which that could have happened. The Commanders, they have some easy games, but who knows? Maybe they only win 2 and they get 10 wins. Well, in that case, the 49ers have the tiebreaker over them. And in that case, also, maybe the Seahawks win the division. So then the Seahawks would get in, and whoever from the NFC South would get in, the Vikings and Packers would get in, and then the 49ers would get in because they have the tiebreaker over the Washington Commanders. But the Rams and the Packers, keep in mind, but Rams is what we're talking about right now. The Rams do not have the tiebreaker over the Commanders. The Commanders have it. And a lot of it is, conference record and stuff like that. So I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty with that. But just know the Commanders have the tiebreaker over the Rams and the Green Bay Packers. So going over some scenarios, if Washington goes 11-6, they're in regardless. That's winning 3 pretty much. I almost think it's guaranteed. If they go 10-7 and tie Seattle because the Rams win the division, then Washington wins on conference records. So they also, I believe, have the tiebreaker over the Rams or the Seahawks. So just something to keep in mind. A lot of people are rooting for the Rams to lose, but now really, if you think about it, because we have the tiebreaker over them, as long as we don't lose 2 more games than the Rams win over the next few weeks, then we're chilling because, again, they would have to get it up a game on us. So right now, just looking at the Rams and their record, I'll just pull it up real quick. So the Rams are second in the NFC West with a record of 8-6. So right now, we're a half game ahead of them. Let's say the Commanders win, which, hopefully happens, knock on wood, but they win, they're 9-5. They are a game ahead of the Los Angeles Rams, but they have the tiebreaker. So for the Rams to get above the Commanders, they have to win 2 more games than the Commanders over these next few weeks. And they already have, I guess, yeah, they've played 14 games. The Commanders have played 13. So they have the tiebreaker over them. So they're in a really good spot there. Let's say the Commanders win 10 games and the Rams win 11. Okay, in that case, the Rams are going to be ahead of the Commanders, obviously, because they have a win over us. But I guess they don't have to win. I was saying 2 more games, but we have the tiebreaker. So it's kind of because they have already played a game this week, so it kind of messes up with the numbers that I was saying earlier. But looking at the Rams, we'll look at the Rams, the Seahawks schedule. That's the thing, though, is that it all kind of works together. Like the Rams, I believe they play the Seahawks. I'm going to bring it up here. Yeah, so the Rams play the Jets next week, so that should be a win for them. They play the Rams, and then they don't play the Rams. They are the Rams. They play the Cardinals the week after that. And then after that, they play the Seattle Seahawks, the last game of the season. And that's another team that we're kind of competing with. And they already beat the Seahawks this year, but you look at the Seahawks, let me pull up their schedule again. We're also competing with the Seattle Seahawks. But guess what? They play the Packers, which honestly, again, either way, whoever wins that game is a win for us. But here's the thing. The Commanders, they control their own destiny, right? So we want to just win and get that 6th seed. So in that case, the Packers, we want them to lose that game. And then the next week, because it's going to be very hard to catch the Vikings, we want the Seahawks to lose to the Vikings, which is very, very possible. It is at home though, but it's very possible. So in that case, we win 2 games, and what they get, they're at 8 wins right now. Let's see, they're at 8 wins. Let's say they beat the Packers, they lose to the Vikings, and sorry, just making sure they play the Bears and the Seahawks. So let's say they win 2 out of those games, 2 out of those 3, then they'll be the same record as the Commanders. And if the Commanders win 10 games, again, I'm just there's a bunch of different scenarios, but the Commanders and the Seahawks have the same record right now. If they both win the same amount of games over the next 4 weeks, the Commanders are in. And same thing with the Rams, except for the Rams have to do a little bit extra because they are a game behind. And so the biggest competitors in terms of getting into the playoffs right now with the Commanders are the Seahawks and the Rams. They want them both to lose, and there is a specific scenario where or a week where they play, and we'll see depending on what things or what happens, what transpires over the next couple weeks. But we probably want the Seahawks to win that game. Just again, it depends on what happens here. There's so many different moving parts. I know I'm all over the place because you're thinking, okay, we want to make the playoffs, but then also get the 6th seed. So there's a bunch of different moving parts, and we're rooting for the Packers to lose and the Seahawks to lose, but they both play each other. And the same thing with the Rams, we're rooting for them to lose and the Seahawks to lose, but they both play each other the same, also. So it's a bunch of moving parts. So it's really a week by week basis on what you want to happen. For the Commanders, obviously a win, that's the most important thing. You win this week, you're at 9 wins. You already have a chance of making the playoffs. Probably won't make it, but you have a chance just with 9 wins. And then after that, you win 10 games, you're in a good spot. 11 games, it's a lock. 12 games, you're getting that 6th seed. You're getting that 6th seed because the Commanders, I believe, have that tiebreaker over the Packers. So this week, root for the Packers to lose to the Seahawks, and if that happens, the Commanders will likely if they win, they'll get that 5th seed, or not 5th seed, 6th seed, which is very, very important because if you're not aware, the 7th seed will be playing likely the Eagles, maybe the Lions, depending on how that all works out. Maybe the Vikings if they win out and the Lions lose a couple games, but more likely than not, it's the Eagles is who the Commanders are going to be playing. Versus playing the Seahawks or maybe the Rams or the Bucs/Falcons in the first round. I'd much rather play those teams. Maybe the Rams are a little bit scary, but still, I'd rather play them than the Eagles. But it's also a division rival. Maybe you can beat them. But the most important thing is getting the playoffs. And the Commanders are in a good spot because of tiebreakers. I know I said so many different things, and I'm probably all over the place. But it's just very hard to describe all of it. And I'm not on my computer right now in terms of recording on my computer, so I can't show y'all everything. But basically, we have the tiebreaker over a lot of these teams. So as long as if we win 3 games, we're in. If we win 2 games, we're likely in, depending on how some other things happen with the Seahawks, Rams, and the Packers are basically in, unless they lose out and we only win a game. Like, the Packers are going to make it. They got 9 wins, so they're a game ahead of the Commanders right now. So if they go, let's say, 1-3, and the Commanders end up getting 2 wins, then they would tie, and they would be we would get over them. But that's really the only scenario. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.